Good evening. I love saying that. It's so fun. Okay, so I was talking to my roommate slash best friend today, and I said, what should I do for tonight's video? And she's like, well, you're the creepy lady. That's what she calls me. She said, you're the creepy lady, so tell these people why you're the creepy lady. I'm like, oh, all right. So, hence the name of my channel, Creepy Creations, right? So, I am the creepy lady. I don't know what's up with that. I have always, since I was a little kid, honestly, loved horror movies, anything scary, like just books, all of it, right? My mom used to say, where do you get this macabre side to you? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe from dad. But anyhow, so uh, like even from when I was a little kid, I was like 9 years old, and we'd be watching this show that was called Creature Feature. When I was a kid, it was called Creature Feature, and it was awesome. It was like every Saturday morning, and it had this crazy guy. I can't remember his name. I guess I should have maybe Googled that. But anyway, it had this crazy guy that was like the what do you call it? The host of the show or whatever. And it was always, usually some black and white, but always some great old, creepy show. And so there was like Nosferatu and all the Universal movie monsters and just like there was this one called Tarantula about this giant tarantula that was like living in this cave, like this underground cave, and they were doing some blasting for some reason, and they blasted the cave open so the spider comes out, and it's like, it's so awesome. Those old movies just crack me up with the whole uh the special effects, and how nowadays you look at it and you go, oh, that's so fake. My kids always do that. And I'm like, look, here's the deal. That old stuff, that stuff that you think was so fake, right, is the precursor to what we have today, right? Right. So, don't diss on my movies, okay? So, if you saw my movie collection, it's like 90% horror movies. I'm pretty sure about, yeah, I think about 90%. Something scary, anyways. Aliens, sci-fi, whatever. So, anyhow, so my roommate, she reminded me. She's like, "Well, tell him a story." And I said, "What story?" And she's like, "Well, tell him about that one time that the only one time you ever got scared." Like, right? Because that would be a good story. Okay, so, oh, I can't get comfortable tonight. My back is killing me, and my neck is killing me, and I'm just having a hell of a day. So, here's what happened. I was like, I believe I was 15. I might have been 14 or 15. I see. Yeah, something like that. Um, yeah. And I was at my brother's house with him and his wife at the time, and their little boy. And I just hung out with them like the whole, weekend basically, and just, you know, not wanting to go home. And uh, I sat and read. I was looking through, they had a few books in their house, and I was looking through them, and I found the Amityville Horror. And of course, at the time, I knew nothing about it, you know. There's still a big debate. Was it fake or not? Whatever, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's a good story. So, anyhow, so I sat there and I read that whole book in 4 hours. Now, here's another thing you need to know about me, I guess, is that I'm used to be, anyways, an avid reader. My eyes are not the same as they used to be. And I could just devour books like nobody's business, okay? So here I read this book in like 4 hours, and it really tripped me out, right? It really tripped me out. The book was even way scarier than the movie ever was. But anyhow, so after I read this book like in the middle of the day, and then it's after that we watched like oh gosh, Battlestar Galactica and the movie, not the series. Looking for Mr. Goodbar. And there was some other movie, I can't remember which, we watched. And then, obviously by that time it was much later in the day, and so it was time to go to bed. So everybody goes to bed, and in their living room, they have like what do you call it? Pull out a hide-a-bed. And so I'm going to sleep on the hide-a-bed, right? And they live on a busy street, and right across the street is a street light. And so, like, it's really bright in their living room, So there's nothing scary about it in that, respect, right? So I'm laying there, and I'm like almost asleep. I'm this close to being asleep. And I freaking think about that book. The book pops into my head, and instantly I'm like, my eyes are open, and I'm all, holy crap, that scared the crap out of me, blah, 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 right? And so I'm laying there, and I'm just thinking about the book, and I'm not like, thinking that some, crazy red-eyed pig is going to be running around outside the window, right? Well, for one, we're on the second floor, okay? And for two, just because that's not how I'm wired. So, anyway, so I'm laying there and I'm trying to go to sleep, but I can hear the cars going by and stuff. It's like, summertime. And so behind me, like, I'm laying on the sofa bed, out this way, and behind me is one great big window and then like a smaller one on either side, kind of like a bay window scenario, but it wasn't actually a bay window, okay? So I'm laying there and I'm looking, of course, at the opposite wall from the window because that's the direction I'm laying, right? So all of a sudden, it's like this shadow starts raising up on the wall, and it's like literally like the head and shoulders and this like black shadow, and it's just coming up the wall. And the room is actually getting dark. Like, this whole thing really freaked me out. Okay. So, of course, as soon as I realize that the room is actually getting dark, then I jump up, like literally jump up, and I'm standing on the bed, and I whip around, look, and there's nothing, obviously, there's nothing there, right? Well, that kind of got my blood and my adrenaline and everything, going. So there was no going back to sleep at that point. So I sat up and I found another book that wasn't scary, and I tried to read that, and I started getting tired, and then I'd start conking out again, and then I'd think about the book again, so I'd, be all wide awake again, and I didn't see anything else scary. But I'm telling you, I saw that. I'm telling you, I saw that. Okay? I was not hallucinating. I'm not that kind of person. Okay? I saw it. It freaked me out. So, what I ended up doing, because I couldn't sleep, was I went to my brother and sister-in-law's room, and I was trying to wake up my sister-in-law, and get her to come out in the living room and hang out with me or whatever. And she just, I probably wasn't being very loud, but she wouldn't wake up. And so I finally just like basically curled up in the corner next to her part of their bed and just went and you know, tried to go to sleep. Well, I couldn't sleep all night. I actually did not sleep for 3 days after this. Well, that night and then 2 more nights. I went home and my bedroom at the time was in my parents' basement and it was just pitch black in that room, like literally pitch black. Couldn't see your hand in front of your face when the lights were off. And so of course, you know, I everything would be fine. I'd go along like the whole day and everything would be fine. I'd be like, oh, I'm super tired, boy. Not sleeping last night. You know, that kicked my butt. And then I'd go and I'd get in bed and I'd be almost asleep and poof, I think about the book. I didn't sleep for 3 nights. It sucked. I finally, when I did sleep, I think I slept for like 24 hours, but it was so funny. And that's like the only time in my I've seen like, uh, I don't even know how many movies, let alone scary movies. I have no idea. Bazillions, okay? And they don't. Nowadays, it's like I'm watching the scary movie and we'll be like, oh, it's the creepy dude. He's doing whatever, right? The creepy dude, creepy dude. And then I'll say, oh, look, wouldn't that be great if a foot came flying out from the bush? And then a foot comes flying out from the bush, and I'm like, ah, called it, you know. Oh, that's just because, you know, when you've seen so many scary movies. But yeah, so anyway, that was just kind of a funny story of like the one and only time in my entire life that I was scared of something spooky, and it was a book and not even a movie, which is, you know, for most people it's the other way around, but I see a movie in my head when I'm reading a book, you know, so that's the whole. I played my own movie and scared myself, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah. So my roomie, she calls me the creepy lady. My channel is Creepy Creations. I am a um very crafty person. I like to make things. I'm a maker of things, and most of it is something kind of creepy. So not all of it, of course, but most of it, you know, because you know that's what I like. So, anyways, okay. So there's my story. My one and only I got scared from a book story. And I think that for tonight, that is it. I'm tired and I'm going to bed. So, good night, YouTube, and I'll see you next time.